This video is about image slider. I'm going to show you what's all involved with the image slider, and then I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks. So, pages on the left. In the content area, it's in one of two places. In the popular section, it's going to be at the top. If you go to design, it's going to be between the image and the photo gallery. Simply drag that over to your editor and find the area that you want it to go to. Now here I could pick my image, and I could pick it simply by going to add image, and you could pick one at a time, or you could pick as many as you want to. And I'm going to find the images that I feel are relatively the same dimension. I'm going to go ahead and pick 3. Once you pick those images, just simply find to where it says add selected. Choose it at the bottom here, and there you go. Here I have a choice to drag these images by using the top little area here. Okay, there we go. For some reason it's a lot easier to drag them from the right to the left, but you have an option to trash it, to add a link to it, add a text at the bottom of that slide, and even crop it. From there you can click on design, and you have a choice to fill the image slider or not, to make autoplay or not, to keep the navigational arrows or not. You can actually make it fade or slide. So some good options here. Then of course you have the color options for that. Here's text bar, so once you add your text at the bottom, you can add different colors to the background, or you could change the color of your text, change the font, and also change the size. And then for your slider, if you want to change the height of your slider, you could do so where it says height. And then here where it says margin, you could change the margin of your slider from the left, the right, the top, or the bottom. Now here's something interesting for you guys. That's basically everything in the slider. But let's just say I want to change the margin here. I can actually type it in, or by clicking on the left hand side, as you see what I'm doing here. Now I'm able to actually adjust it. Alright, so let's go back to general. So I'm pretending that these are the images that I want in my slide, and I can see that they're relatively similar in dimensions. But the best thing I want to say to you is, by all costs, make sure that every image is exactly the same dimension. Make sure it's exactly the same height, it's exactly the same width as the next one. That way you don't leave any loose ends. Because what happens is, and I want to click in design, and I want to make this shrink down to where it doesn't fill the slider. You see I do have space at the top and bottom. And I do this simply because I want to read these images. If I go to the next image, you see I can see it very clearly. Now these images are low resolution. Make sure all your images on your site are high resolution. You don't have to add in 1,000,000 images. But when you do add images, make sure they are high resolution. That way they don't look blurry and choppy. Now this is the way I like it. I could read the whole image, the text in the image. This is a little small. If I want to crop it, I can also crop it and then add this text in by paragraph or something else, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it right here just for demonstration purposes only. What I'm going to do now is try my best to get rid of this extra space. And to do that, I go to where it says more, and I find the height. And so I want to try to shrink this up as much as I can. There we go. But you'll notice, since they're not the same dimensions, when I go to the next one, you see this one does have space on the left and right. So let's see if I can move that a little bit, because it is actually the biggest one. Alright. That's about as much as I'm going to get that to. Now when I move it over, you do see I have more space at the top and bottom. But this is all because these images are not the same dimensions. So like I said before, at all costs, do your best to make sure that all these images that's going to go into your slider are the same dimension, and make sure they're high resolution as well. Now I go back to design here, I want these to autoplay. That's just a personal preference. You don't have to make that happen. And if you don't want these arrows to be on, all you have to do is click where it says off, and as you see, they do disappear. Now do remember that once your navigation arrows are gone, you do not have the option to shuffling through your images. So I do have it on autoplay, that way I can see the different images. So let's say you want ads. Let's say you're putting ads on your site. As you see here, this is a great way to do that without somebody flipping through them. Or if you want them to flip through them, they can do that, of course. And to do that, you just turn your navigation arrows back on. You can also make these fade or slide instead of fade. So when you press on one of these arrows and you see it slide through. You can also tell by when they slide that they aren't the same dimension. Watch it come from the right and you'll see how different the sizes are. Okay, so that's how you create an image slider, and that's how you modify it.